just come off Hanukkah, which is about the victory of Torah, Jewish values. Over the Greek way of life and the Greek attitude. And one of the basics there was that to Greece, religion was culture. In Judaism, it's real. And I think it's very important to keep that in mind when going through the Parsha. The Parsha, which is really the culmination of this whole, the plot of Yosef and his brothers. This is not lore. It's got to be clear. This is not lore. These are not Bible stories. The Torah is the guide to life. In this week's Parsha, we get to know a little bit about these personalities. Yehuda, Yosef. And it's not there to have some exciting tale to tell your kids. The suspense. Last week's Parsha ended, keeping us hanging, waiting for the finale. It's here to teach. And we begin with Yehuda at the beginning of the Parsha. Yehuda stands up for his brother. So reading his own presentation to Yosef, and especially if you read the way Chazal read into it, how Rashi explains it. Yes, it was emotional, but it was tough. It was tough. He was ready for battle. He's putting himself out for Binyamin. And he's ready to fight and give his life for it. And there's a very important ingredient here. Because in last week's Parsha, he took personal responsibility for Binyamin. And that's the first important lesson here. It's not just the character of who Yehuda was. It's understanding that when you take responsibility, you stop at nothing. And he says that straight out, Ki avdecha oraves hanar. I took responsibility for it. And that's something that he can tell Yosef, not knowing who he was. We give up so easily. We know the Jewish people is in trouble. We know there's so much that has to be done. Everyone's in despair. What are you going to do already? Come on, it's been tried. This tshuva movement has been around for years. Yeah, it's made a difference, but how much? Yeah, what are you going to think of now? Come on, let me just get on with my life. Fine, from people who would love for a change in the face of Jewry. Same idea. What am I going to do already? What's missing? One thing. Knowing that we're responsible. Knowing that in Judaism, mutual responsibility is a fundamental. No Jew has the right to sink back into his little cozy corner there. Just grow, feel close to Hashem, take care of his family, raise a nice family, perhaps a little bit for the community. There's no such thing. That's not enough. Every Jew has personal responsibility for everyone. The Gemara tells us, the Gemara says that Moshe Rabbeinu before his passing, made this bris with all of Klal Yisrael, where everyone accepted upon themselves all 613, multiplied by the amount of Jews there were. And then again multiplied by the amount of Jews there were, because we are not only responsible for one another, we are responsible for one another's responsibility for one another. The message there is that as much as everything begins with the individual, and if you don't build yourself, you'll get nowhere. If you don't feel responsible, you're missing it. What does it mean to be a Jew? To be a Jew doesn't just mean to be close to Hashem. To be a Jew means to feel responsible. And this week's Parshat teaches us, when you feel responsible, you stop at nothing. So it hasn't worked. Just got to find a way to make it work. Responsibility means you stop at nothing. There's no such thing as I'm discouraged. That's one. And they're so basic. So basic to what it means to be a Jew. Kol Yisrael arevim zeh lazeh. We are responsible for one another. And then there's Yosef. His brothers tried to kill him. He not only survived, but his dreams literally came true. And now he's got them. Now he's got them. See, he's got to teach them a lesson. You know, when you use that expression, I'm going to teach him a lesson, it doesn't mean you're going to teach him a lesson. It means you're full of vengeance. That's what it means. Yosef had to teach them a lesson. And he did. With his brilliance, Have them understand what it means to just do away with a brother? Understand what they did to their father? He had to teach them that. So he did it using Binyamin. He got the job done. He got the job done. He got them to the point of understanding it and really being there for Binyamin. Okay, I taught them the lesson. Ani Yosef. Got the message? Do you understand what you did wrong? And then everything changes. You didn't bring me here. It was Hashem that did it. It's for the sake of the future of the family. I have nothing against you. When he had to teach him a lesson, that was totally educational. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing personal. This Yosef sees himself as a non-entity. Egypt, that was it. That was the progressive civilization that ruled the world. And he, in practice, is running the place. Has everything at his disposal. And his brothers tried to kill him. There was something they had to learn. He taught it. And when they got the message, it's as if nothing happened. This goes very well together with responsibility. Our personalities are always getting in the way. What it means to be dedicated to principles, dedicated to truth, dedicated to destiny. What that means is nothing personal. Personalities ruin everything. There's yet to be a Jewish organization anywhere on earth that didn't break into 2, 3, or 5. It's personalities. Personalities get in the way. When you're doing what's right, chemistry doesn't make a difference. If I don't get the recognition, I'm not going further. That's human nature, huh? There's something more than that expected of the Jew. It's taking responsibility and rising above your ego, your need for recognition, your natural sense of jealousy, your comfort in many ways. Yeah, these parshas are not about Bible stories. They're telling us what a Jew is supposed to be like. Responsible and selfless. And by the way, there is nothing that builds the human being better than being selfless. You can start feeling good about yourself for real instead of pretending. You can start respecting yourself. You don't need gimmicks for your self-image. All of that is to take the place of really knowing that you're good and right. When you're selfless, there's nothing like it. You don't need validation and approval anymore. You appreciate whom you are. The Torah way of life sounds a little lofty. It's worth every bit of effort. Take responsibility for the Jewish people. You'll feel more alive than ever before. Everything will be filled with electricity. Meaning, you get up in the morning with an excitement. And at the same time, leave your ego out of it. That eats up the best of what we can be. Just be part of the cause. Just be there for the Jewish people. Be there for Hashem's people. There's nothing like it. No Bible stories. This is what's real. This is the way to live. This is what gives the good life in this world, and obviously the best in eternity. Take responsibility and drop the ego. You'll be happier than ever, more excited than ever, more motivated and more productive than ever. And above all, you'll be fortunate. That's what the Torah is teaching us. Okay, get the message.